Alright guys, horseplay back again. I'm starting y'all right off in the action. If you can tell, this car's a little jacked up right now. Got the back off. Now the issue I was having, yes, scratch my belly real quick. I was getting brake scrub. This pad right here is wore down to almost nothing, while this pad back here is still fine. The other side is still fine. So I decided to look at the pictures and stuff online, and I noticed this clip right here, that should be on the outside of the caliper. That should be hooked over that lip, and that should be on the top. It should look like this right here. See how the clip's on the outside? Alright. So what that does, I don't know if you can see, there's the clip right there across the top. It's folded down like that, and it's got constant pressure on that pad. Always. So it is wearing out this pad way before it wears out this. Now I've never touched these brakes since I've bought the car. I've had it almost 2 years, and it's finally, the pads are just wearing down enough for me to replace it. So whoever did this probably did a brake job right before I got it or so, but they did not do that right. And when I painted them, I didn't even notice that. So we're going to address that today. I got new pads, might as well go ahead and do both sides, right? So let's get to it. These bolts right here are 13 millimeter. I've also heard that they're a half, but 13 is what works for me. You notice this side right here for the slider on both sides is flat. That way you can pull it up. When you turn this, the slider don't sit there and spin. Make sure you get to grease all this. I'll show you all that in a minute. Alright, drop that. Most time you don't want to let this sag, but if you look, there's still play in that line because the e-brake cable is holding it. It can't go anywhere. The clip fell straight out as soon as I took it. Now let's see if I can get this up in here how it's supposed to go, and we'll see what we can accomplish then. See, I don't even know how to get it in there, but I'll figure that out real quick and show y'all what it's supposed to look like. So as you've seen from the picture and how this is, that's how it's supposed to be sitting on the outside. Now of course that would be tighter right there in the corner, but I had to bend it just to show y'all. Now I do notice a lot of people do not run this and they do not have issues. If you open yours up and it looks like that right here, see how there's nothing in that slot? That means that this has been left out, and apparently they run it with no issues. Now to show y'all, that pad's almost gone. Where this pad, even though it is not the best, has a lot more left on it. See how thick that is compared to that? That's because of the constant pressure that was being put on this. I also noticed these clips that come off right here. A lot of people in the videos I was watching, they do not run them clips. It just sits right here. It can't go anywhere because of the tension from the top right here holding that down, and the hat holding it so it can't fly out anywhere. So now where these go, and this is the sliders. I sprayed it with PB Blaster last night just to see if they was seized, and they're not, but sometimes these will seize, and what that does is when you apply the brakes, it can move it when the tension is on the pad. So take these out real quick just to show you. These are where the pads slide on both sides. I'm going to take old toothbrush, daughter's old descendant's toothbrush. It works a little bit, but I don't care about that. This is a solution of alcohol and dish soap. Works pretty good. You can clean all that up and grease it up. Alright, so got it sprayed down. Take the rag and wipe it down the best you can. Now, reminder, this is 22 years old now, so you're probably not going to get it spotless. I mean, the idea would probably be take a wire brush to it, but I don't have one currently. But those of you who don't know, you have to spin the caliper in. You spin it clockwise to get it to go in. I got the hood popped, and I got the cap off the brake reservoir because you're going to be pushing that in. The brake fluid's got to go somewhere. So let me see if I can get that screwed in now. This is the tool that I'm going to be using. I've used it before with success, but I know a lot of people don't like it, but here I go. So this is the one I'm going to use. I don't know how well you can see that, but it goes to the corner. It's going to fit in these slots right here. So you put it in like this, line up the slots, and then turn it clockwise. Alright, I got it screwed in enough where I'll go over these. I got the pads on, I got the sliders on. It moves pretty good. Well, not the sliders, the whatever these are called. These are the sliders. I got them greased up. I don't know how well you can see them. I used PB Blaster and lithium grease in the holes. How well y'all can see that, I'm just pointing it back at me. But I'm going to put that on, bolt it up, and that'll be it. I'm going to try my best to leave this here, but if for some reason I'm not getting it, I will take the darn thing off. Something I forgot to mention is when you turn the piston in, make sure it's horizontal like that, because the brake pads have this tab. When you're trying to slide the caliper over, it'll slide over that, but if it's sideways, it'll get hung up there and you can't get this all the way on. Alright, one more thing, guys. Because we screwed this in, most of y'all's gonna know this, but some of you may not. Before you drive anywhere, pump the brakes. That piston has to come out. Look at this play. You see it? You can go in and go out. So first time you go out and you hit the brakes, you're not going to have back brakes because it hasn't touched the pad yet. So make sure you do that. It's not as important on the back than it is on the front. Just a quick little tip, if you have open end lug nuts and you got to get deep down in the hole like that, I put it on my finger, I stick it in, and I do a few turns, and that gets them started. And you can do that with each one. Stick it in and get it started. I also feel that it's important to point out the pinch weld is not a jack point on these cars. You can see where they've messed mine all up. I do set my jack stand there, but that's just for safety. That is the jack point. There's a flat point right here, perfect where it goes. And that's where they list as a jack point. And it's on both sides. Be sure to use that. You can put your jack stand over here, but like I said, that's just for safety in case the car falls. It'll still hold it, but it's not made to jack the car. Make sure while the car's on the ground, you loosen the lug nuts. You can loosen them anyway, but of course you should know when you tighten them up, star pattern. Here to here to here to here to here, but never here to here or here to here. Always jump across. So also, lower the car. You're going to pump the brakes a few times. You're going to drive around and see if it works good, right? When you come back, recheck your lug nuts. Cannot say that enough. Always check your lug nuts. Also, guys, I encountered it with the other side because the pad was worn and it got hot and cooled off, got hot and cooled off. Aluminum rims can sometimes mate to the threads. It's not uncommon for you, you have to kick the crap out of the top and bottom to rock it loose to get it off. Now, passenger side didn't have that issue. The driver's side, I had to mule kick it. Remember on the other side, I said 13mm top and bottom. Some people used a half. When I get to this side, my 13 doesn't work. A half doesn't work. I have to go to a 9/16. So one side has been touched before. They maybe lost the bolts or whatever, but you might run into this issue. And look, this tab is the same way. That should be out. Alright guys, I had to come back on my cell phone. My GoPro battery died. Anyway, 9/16 on that side. You can see this clip right here where it should be out and it's in. I'm going to show y'all why we was almost to face the problem on this side as soon as I get it off. Don't know how well I can see that because of the way the light is. See how thin that top is and how fat that bottom is? That pin's been pushing that in on the top, so it's been cocked like that. We was fixing to run out of pad up here in maybe a month or two, versus down here still got all that meat. So we was fixing to run into that issue again, all because they didn't know what they was doing with that clip and just threw it in there randomly. Alright, got the hoses and everything in the back. Going to meet Andrew at Mustang Lifestyle, going to his job. And I'm giving these to Andrew. He hooked me up with the control arms that's on this car off of Turdzilla. So I'm going to hook him up with them, and they're going to go on the turbo bullet. So that's where I'm heading now. Alright, just pulled up Mr. Andrew's truck at his undisclosed work location. I'm going to go in and find him and get him these hoses. Alright, deal done. And this is what I traded for. Yep, a simple t-shirt. Like I said, Andrew hooked me up with the control arms off of this car. I traded him a t-shirt for them radiator hoses for the bullet. His upper radiator hose goes right across the turbo, so that metal one will hopefully help. Alright guys, this is going to wrap up this video. Hopefully I answered any questions y'all had concerning the rear brakes. How to adjust them, if they're uneven wear, how you would find out if that clip's the issue, anything like that. You have any questions, send me a message on Instagram or write me on this page here. I didn't film much of me meeting up with Andrew because that's his personal life, that's his job, and I didn't feel like I should be putting that out there. If he wants everybody to know where he works at, I'm sure he can put it on his page. But until next time, I appreciate y'all watching. This is Horseplay. No.
I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with the 16 bars. I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with the 16 bars. I won't turn around, I won't turn around. No matter how far I go, I'll never come back.